It was a typical day for Sarah as she was scrolling through Facebook Marketplace, looking for a new piece of furniture to spruce up her apartment. She stumbled upon a listing for a beautiful antique dresser that was being sold for a steal. The seller, a woman named Rebecca, seemed friendly and trustworthy, so Sarah quickly arranged to pick up the dresser. When Sarah arrived at Rebecca's home, she was greeted warmly and shown the dresser. It was even more beautiful than it appeared in the pictures. As Sarah was inspecting the piece, she noticed a strange odor emanating from the dresser but thought nothing of it. She paid Rebecca, loaded the dresser into her car, and drove home. It wasn't long before Sarah began to notice strange things happening in her apartment. She would hear strange noises coming from the direction of the dresser, and she felt as though someone was watching her every move. But it wasn't until she discovered a hidden compartment in the dresser that her worst fears were confirmed. Inside the compartment, Sarah found a series of photographs that depicted the mutilated and dismembered bodies of young women. In a state of shock, Sarah immediately contacted the police, who arrived at her apartment and seized the dresser as evidence. The investigation led the police to Rebecca's home, where they discovered a horrifying scene. Rebecca was a serial killer who had been luring young women into her home and killing them before dismembering their bodies and storing them in the dresser. The strange odor that Sarah had noticed was the scent of human remains. Rebecca was arrested and brought to trial, where she was found guilty of multiple counts of murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. The case became known as one of the most gruesome Facebook Marketplace horror stories of all time, and Sarah was left traumatized by the experience. From that day forward, she vowed to always be cautious when buying items from strangers online. It was a sunny afternoon, and John was looking for a good deal on Facebook Marketplace. He came across a listing for a vintage guitar that he had been searching for, and the price was too good to pass up. He messaged the seller, and they agreed to meet at a nearby park to complete the transaction. When John arrived at the park, he noticed that the seller, who went by the name of Alex, was acting strangely. He was fidgeting and seemed nervous. But John shrugged it off and handed over the money in exchange for the guitar. As he was getting ready to leave, Alex suddenly pulled out a knife and demanded that John hand over his wallet and phone. John was terrified and tried to run, but Alex caught up to him and stabbed him in the back. John fell to the ground, bleeding profusely, as Alex took off with his belongings. Several park-goers witnessed the attack and called 911, but it was too late. John died from his injuries before the ambulance arrived. The police launched a manhunt for Alex, but he had disappeared without a trace. As they dug deeper into his background, they discovered that he had a history of violent crimes and was known for preying on unsuspecting buyers on Facebook Marketplace. Months passed without any leads in the case, but then a breakthrough came when a hiker stumbled upon a decomposing body in the woods. It was Alex, and it appeared that he had been attacked by a wild animal. But upon closer examination, the police discovered that Alex's wounds were not consistent with an animal attack. They realized that someone had tracked him down and killed him in a gruesome act of revenge. It was later revealed that the killer was John's father, who had been devastated by his son's senseless murder. He had spent months tracking down Alex and had finally taken justice into his own hands. The case sent shockwaves through the community, and it served as a chilling reminder of the dangers of buying and selling on Facebook Marketplace.